Is Cardano's ADA about to pump? In this video, we're going to be jumping down into the technical analysis on Cardano's ADA, what I think is happening, what I think is likely to happen next, and all that wonderful stuff. If you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, guys. Linked in the description down below. Let's jump right down into this one, right? So here we have Cardano's ADA paired up with USDT. We're using the BitGet spot exchange, and this is the 1 hour time frame. This particular chart is reviewing smart money concepts, so you can see all these pockets of green on the chart. These are fair value gaps. These are not necessarily bullish indications. In fact, I might have to switch those colors around a little bit, because these green fair value gaps are actually an indication that price will probably come back down and revisit them. Therefore, they should probably be red. In that particular case, you can kind of see we have some fair value gaps down here. All the way to these lows at around 24 cents, and we're currently operating at about 28.9. Okay, but you know, as everything goes, it looks like we probably are going to be pushing up towards our fair value gap at the higher end at 31.2725 to 31.5200. Let's jump over into BitGet here, and we'll just come over into our ADA USDT pair on the spot exchange, and you can kind of review here. This is our daily time frame. You can kind of see how we've been moving to the upside. And these fair value gaps that get created both on the high and the low side, they're created from the imbalances of the order books, right? So essentially, as price has been pushing up, large buy orders have come in, okay, and they haven't been met with equal amounts of selling pressure. There's always a buyer, there's always a seller, right? You can't just buy ADA and, you know, price just goes up for no reason. Price is moving because there's an imbalance in the supply and the demand, right? And if a huge buy order comes in, the demand comes in, and there's not enough supply within that price range to fulfill it, then price has to jump to where the sellers are. And so what happens is these fair value gaps, these gaps here get left behind because there's large buy orders that are not being met by sellers until price moves up slightly higher, where the sellers are then actually willing to sell their ADA to the buy orders. Okay, and as such, you can then get the gap that get left behind. Now, these gaps that are left behind, they have a tendency to get filled out over time, i.e. what I mean by that is price will go back down and put liquidity where liquidity wasn't to start with. Okay, so price will want to pull back down and fill the gap out so the gap doesn't exist. Okay, so it takes some time. Occasionally, it can take days, it can take weeks. In some instances, it can take over a year before price will go back down and fill those gaps. Now, in the case of Cardano's ADA, I do not expect it to take that long. I think that we're going to see price move down probably within the next little while, maybe a few weeks or so. It's been about 16 days since Cardano's ADA hit its new bear market low. And of course, there's a lot of people who are super bullish on the market right now. I want you just to hear one thing. You don't set new lower lows in a bull market, right? In a bull market, you're talking all-time highs, right? And you're going after all-time highs. In a bear market, you're going down into lower lows and into new bear market lows, right? And so it's really important that we understand there's a distinction here. Okay, not only is the technical definition of a bull market when demand outpaces that of the supply, but also you have an expectation that you're going to up into all-time high territory. Okay, a bullish market is something that another way of kind of articulating a similar thing, except you're not really expecting all-time highs. You can have short-term bullish movements like we are currently seeing, and of course you can have bear market rallies, and bear market rallies are basically a temporary bullish movement within a bear market. And I think that's really where we sit, because we are going down into continue these new lows for many altcoins, right? Bitcoin's holding its ground at the moment, but I don't think that's sustainable for too long either, as the majority of holders tend to be smaller wallets holding 1 Bitcoin or so. And I think that at some point they're probably going to have to succumb to selling pressure. We see this time and time again. But when it comes to Cardano's ADA here, I'm suspecting new lower lows are on the horizon. And this isn't really just driven from the fact that the SEC have tagged Binance.us with saying that Cardano ADA was an unregistered security. I don't think that's necessarily really the whole drive behind this. It's just fear in general. And there's some knee-jerk reactions associated with these things as well. So yeah, fair value gaps. I think we're going to fill them out quicker, and I think we're going to go down into a new low soon on Cardano ADA, probably within the next few weeks or so. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Now, if you haven't yet checked out 𝗕𝗘𝗪, guys, you should definitely check it out. In my opinion, it is a really good platform. I do 90 to 95% of all my spot trades using 𝗕𝗘𝗪, and I use 100% of my leverage trading done on 𝗕𝗘𝗪 as well. It's a well-rounded platform that has access to TradingView directly in the charts, where you can draw on them and all your analysis is saved. You have access to the order books for analysis. You can do all of your leverage and spot trading directly here on the platform, and it's just nice and easy to manage. If you haven't already checked it out, affiliate link is in the description down below. Go ahead. If you're looking for a new exchange to replace Binance, or just looking for something that's got a bit more liquidity to it, maybe more than Gate.io or KuCoin, maybe you're struggling a little bit with those, why not check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪? As I said, affiliate link is in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump back down into the charts. Let's go ahead and review here, right? So as we can see, this one is Cardano paired up with USDT, but Binance as our data source. And this one, we're just looking at our EMAs, right? And our EMAs are showing us that we're finding support on our 200 EMA, okay? And so rejection here on the 50 EMA, support on the 200 EMA, we're getting squeezed, okay? So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this plays out. Now, it's possible that we have a little bit deeper to go here just before we start this rally upwards, but I do think the move to the upside is something that is going to occur here, and I think it's going to have a pretty sizable move. But it does depend whether or not we can keep our existing low locked in. Okay, so we'll be looking at staying above 28.43. If we drop lower than 28.43, then we're probably not going to have that break to the upside just yet. Okay, and we're probably going to have to come down a wee bit more before we can start that rally. Now, let me show you from this standpoint over here. Okay, so on our daily time frame, you can kind of see that we've moved down, and we can start to see this move to the upside. Right now, this move to the upside, I think, is a fourth wave movement, although it's not a really good way of looking at the market, because I'm not 100% liking the idea of this as an extension in a wave 5, but if it is, then we have ourselves a wave 4 right now, and we've got to come down into that new lower low, right? And we're targeting out 18 or 15 cents, somewhere in that kind of range. Now, with this move here, we would have to make sure that we would stay above a key area. I mean, there's one other possibility, I guess. The other possibility, before I kind of move on, is that we've nested down and we're doing it like this, and then we're going to have that as a wave 5, 2, and then that's 3 and 4 and 5. That's a possibility as well. But we'll kind of talk about that at a later stage. What I want to talk about right now is within the next few days or so, we have the possibility, although our minimum expectations have been met, I think... yeah, this is the low right here. We could be targeting out at around that 33-cent range, okay? So that we can see there's a potential move here. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take before we finish this little move to the downside. I'm hoping that it's kind of done. If it's not, then we can basically look at a bit more in the way of gains if we still move down here. But we'll be looking at about 14%. And as I said, if you use 𝗕𝗘𝗪 on the leverage side, then obviously that's going to be significantly more. But you can see we're probably going to find ourselves kind of pushing up towards that 50 EMA on the daily time frame, and probably get rejected from it. If we get rejected on that daily 50 EMA, we might just wick above, hit our 1-to-1 ratio, and then move down. And of course, that would be our wave 4 in a 3-wave pattern, A, B, and then C, coming up towards that 33-cent range. Okay, so as you can kind of see, you'd have that locked in there. Two different ways of looking at it. I would say we need to stay below 34.85, although it's also possible that we have this here as our another wave 1 at 37. So either way, we look at this thing, we have a little push to the upside, but essentially we'll be looking for a move to the downside. And it's at the same time, because we have to be really cautious here, we could also be looking at a move back down, and we could just come down into those new low lows. Now, if that is the case, we're going to want to make sure that we stay above 25.22. Anything lower than 25.22 means our C wave was complete, and we can actually go short on the market. Okay, so we kind of have two options, right? We can go long here, okay, with a targeted range up here and a nice tight stop loss somewhere real close, and see how that kind of goes and plays out, okay? And if that doesn't play out and we come down, the second that we kind of come down into these lows around 25, we can start going short on the market, put in our stop loss above our swing high on our C wave, and then start bringing this down quite significantly towards that next fifth wave target, which for the most part, if we take our existing high right here, we would be targeting out between 20 and 17 cents. So we could look at that right inside there. So a few different ways of approaching this at the moment. I think we'll have a little bit more detail in the next kind of probably 6 or so hours once that one plays out. But you can kind of get the idea here, guys. We are looking at just finding that upper area of resistance, which we are kind of finding resistance up here already. So this could be the end of that C wave before a move down. But I suspect we probably have a little bit more of a move to the upside. Momentum is shifting, as you can kind of see. Our 8-hour and 4-hour stochastic RSIs are actually looking for a move to the upside, with momentum shifting bearishly to bullish. And of course, on our hourly chart, we can see a little bit of green here. We're still moving up quite a bit. But, you know, as this video goes out in a little while, this is a little bit early recording, so we'll see how it kind of has played out. But for the most part, my expectations are that we have a little bit of a move to the upside, trying to target out 30 cents. Maybe up to that 33 cents if we're lucky enough to kind of push for it. And then after that is done, unfortunately, I suspect we probably have further down to go, where we'll be targeting out new local lows or new bear market lows for Cardano's ADA, which again is an opportunity in itself. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. If you found this useful, informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out. A link is in the description below. Until next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All other videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.